Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee and this is Randy, and we are at Frederick County Animal Control, and we're here to show you some adoptable pets this week. As we do every week, we get about 5,000 to 6,000 animals every year, and we like to use TV, radio, newspaper, any way we can to show you the animals available to make it more likely that you'll come by the shelter to get your next pet. Our first guest is Jude. Jude is a 5-year-old male-neutered golden retriever. And Jude is everyone's dream pet. And when I say everyone's dream pet, I mean in your imagination. Everyone wants a Labrador retriever or golden retriever, and they think that they want them as a puppy, which we'll talk a little bit, we're going to have some puppy guests. We'll talk a little bit more about puppies in a minute. But Jude is trained to sit, lie down, walk on a leash. He will shake with his paw. He will also shake when he's wet to dry off. He's a very, very well-trained dog, and people often ask, why would a dog like this end up in an animal shelter? Well, sad story for Jude. His owner is very ill, won't be able to have a dog anymore, and did not have any options other than bringing him to us. We do have a golden retriever wish list, so we will be calling those people and seeing if anyone thinks that Jude is their perfect match. But if you are interested in a dog like Jude and believe that these types of dogs don't come to the shelter, we just want to dispel that idea, because every pet that's popular also ends up in the shelter. Look at that happy tail. And Jude is just one example of the many. Sometimes you won't see every pet in the shelter in the newspaper because they're adopted rather quickly after arriving here, and Jude will probably be one of those dogs that doesn't have to spend too much time in the shelter. So if you think that Jude would be a good match for you or someone that you know, please come by the shelter, 1832 Rosemont, and check him out and all of our other fine guests. Our next guest is Misha, and as I said, we're going to talk about puppies. Most people think that they want a dog, when they want a dog, that they would like to have a puppy. And puppies will prove you wrong much of the time. They take so much of your time and really need constant supervision. There's one theory that using a crate, a cage for a dog, can help you with house training and chew training, and that is true. But it's just like a crib or a playpen for a baby. You don't want to overuse it, or you will miss the opportunities for your dog to have social experience, and then they become ill-mannered and hyper. So while it is attractive to think, yeah, we could do it, we could manage training a puppy if we used a crate while we're not home, if you are not home for 8 to 10 hours a day, then you run up against 8 to 10 hours a day of work, 8 to 10 hours a day of sleep. You're going to make dinner, do homework with the kids, and really the puppy ends up not getting trained. So Misha is a perfect example of that. She was adopted from us, from this shelter, about 1 month ago, and along with 6 of her siblings. And the other ones are doing well in their new home, but she was returned because of just being a puppy. It's so much work. So we have the luxury at this shelter of not having to euthanize healthy puppies, because we get about 300 a year and are able to find more than enough people willing to take a puppy. So we take a number of applications for each puppy and make the best match we can at the time, and we hope to be able to do that again for Misha. About 10% of shelter dogs are returned to shelters, and Frederick County Animal Control Center is proud to say that we do keep our return to shelters well under 10%. But that includes puppies that get returned. So if you think that you are up for the challenge, please come in and talk to us. We'll try to talk you out of it, and if you convince us that you know all about it, then Misha will get a second chance at having a family of her own. We are back with Roxy, and as you can see, she is a German Shepherd puppy. Very often, puppies that come to the shelter are purebred puppies that someone purchased with every intention of enjoying them for their lifetime. But as we discussed, you know, puppies are a handful, and the average busy family is not really up to the challenge, what with soccer practice and 2 jobs and after school activities and needing to take the kids on vacation. Even when you go out to dinner, you have to think about what you're going to do with the puppy. Dogs cannot stay in the car from probably about May until October in Maryland, so that's not an option. And of course, if your dog isn't trained to stay in the car even in the winter, I cannot tell you the damage that these little teeth can do to some lovely leather seats. So Misha's about 10 weeks old, so she is yet again younger. I mean, this is Roxy is younger than Misha, who you just met. So it's going to take her 3 to 4 weeks before she is even up to the maturity level of Misha. So it is a big commitment. And if you work, we recommend thinking about how big this puppy's going to get and how you're going to entertain her until she has the maturity to handle spending some time alone without crying or destroying. And she is should be enrolled in a puppy class. I mean, there's just so much to do when you get a puppy, but we'll tell you everything when you come in to check her out. And please call and ask us any questions you might have before you decide to get a puppy. We can help you find dog trainers and veterinarians and all of the resources that you're going to need when you sign on for this kind of a big job. Yeah. If you think that a puppy is in your future, we are definitely the place to start, even if you don't get your puppy here. We can get you ready for this, this stage of your life. We are back with Dino, and Dino is a mixed pit bull terrier. And as most people know, American Pit Bull Terrier is a specific breed of dog, which Dino is not. They have a much broader head, shorter nose. They're registered with the UKC. And they are derived from a mixture of bulldogs and terrier dogs to make a good all-around farm dog that can do hauling and help a farmer, as well as protect the property. Dino is probably mixed with maybe some other kind of terrier, or maybe collie or retriever or something like that, a more refined dog. But you still need to consider his pit bull heritage, because some places that you live might not might have a restriction on bully breeds. It's very common for landlords and neighborhood associations right now to restrict dogs of breeds that people are afraid of. And as we've talked about before on the show, the fear of pit bulls is really unwarranted. They're no different than any other breed as far as problems that they offer to their owners. A big untrained dog can be a problem. So it's just very important, if you get a larger breed of dog, that you are experienced and are willing to put the work in to socialize and teach your dog good manners. Now, as you can see, we had a golden retriever, high energy dog, as our first guest. Then we had 2 puppies with lots of energy and supervision needs. And then we have Dino. Dino is probably going to take the longest to be adopted because he has the pit bull heritage, and that concerns some people. Yet, as you can see, he is the most low energy, mannerly, gentle dog that we had on the show today. So while I might try to talk the average family out of getting a very young puppy, I would not try to talk the average family out of getting a lovely dog like Dino, who has experience and some maturity and a lot to offer a family that's looking for a dog. So if you think that Dino is a good match for you or someone that you know, please come by the shelter and meet him and all of our other adoptable dogs. Our next guests are April and May. April and May are red-eared slider turtles, and turtles live like 15 or 20 years. So it is a long commitment to get a pet such as these, but these turtles are already adult, so probably half of their life they have already spent growing to be this big. You may know that turtles hatch out of eggs with a soft shell, and so they're very, very tiny when they're born. It takes them a while to get this big. And the reason we know that these 2 little turtles are female is the shape of their shell, as well as the toenails that they have on their back feet. The males usually have long, long nails on the back. And turtles are very sociable. They do get to learn the sound of your voice. Once they're used to you, they like to be handled. And the shell is a live part of their body, so turtles can feel you touching their shell. And and once they're used to you, they do enjoy being handled. And they're very, very active. I'm going to let you see how the aquarium that we have for these turtles is not actually large enough for the lifetime of the turtles. Sorry, sweeties. And it would have to be much larger with more interesting plants and things for them to do if they were going to be housed in it permanently, because they move around so much. They swim, they walk, they eat things. We'll show you the setup in the aquarium in a minute that needs to have a way for the turtles to get up out of the water and lie in the sun or in a reptile light. They also need to have shade to make sure that they can get out of the sun at will. And turtles' aquarium needs a pretty heavy-duty pump, more so than most fish tanks. So it's a little bit of a commitment setting up for them, but they're very cute, sociable. They can learn to go through obstacles if you choose to teach them with food. They'll take food from your hands. Very interesting pets for kids, too. The Department of Natural Resources won't sell turtles in Maryland that are below 4 inches because they were such a popular children's pet for so many years that they were concerned about kids putting turtles in their mouth. So I can tell you that with toddlers, they will put a turtle in their mouth of any size. So it is definitely something for you to think about. And also important, if you would like to get a turtle, that you are thinking about that long-term plan because of how long they live. So May and June are at the shelter and they're ready for adoption, and they can be adopted separately or together. It can be fun because turtles are social to have them both. But if you know that you're not going to spend a lot of time with the turtles, you probably should get two because they enjoy each other's company as much as they would enjoy coming out and having some attention from you. If you think that turtles or some other kind of reptile or amphibian is in your future, let us know, because we get a lot of pets in the shelter that you don't normally think about getting from an animal shelter, and we would be happy to call you when the pet of your choice arrives. We'll be back after a short break with more adoptable animals from Frederick County Animal Control.
If you're 55 or older and looking for a way to get moving and strengthen your body, then join the Frederick Senior Center for its strength training class. This class is offered daily and no pre-registration is required. For just $2 a class, you can develop strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. Strength training also increases your metabolism, which can help control weight gain and help lower your blood pressure. So stop thinking about it and start exercising today. Classes are offered at the Frederick Senior Center, located at 1440 Taney Avenue in Frederick. For more information and class schedules, call 301-600-1605.
Are you looking for that perfect spot for your child's next birthday party? Look no farther. Frederick County Parks and Recreation can fulfill all your birthday party needs. Choose from any of our rec center locations. Your party rental includes tables, chairs, paper products, on-site facility supervisor, and much more. Pricing for our parties is $120 for 2 hours in our rec room, or $170 for 2 hours in our rec room and gymnasium. For more information and availability, call 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.
Thanks for rejoining us on Pet Pals. We are back with some adoptable cats at Frederick County Animal Control, and our first guest is Smokey. Smokey is a 2-year-old female domestic shorthair, all gray cat. She came to us previously owned. Her owners are giving her up for a very typical reason that we see at the shelter, because they are moving. And they're moving to a place that doesn't accommodate cats. And while we don't always know why people make the choices that they make in moving, sometimes people don't have a say over where they're going to go. So Smokey's family has to go to some place where they can't have her. So they brought her to us to find her a home. She is used to people. She is easy to handle here in the shelter, and would make somebody a wonderful pet. She's already litter trained, and of course she is spayed. We'll be vaccinating her. We have treated her for worms and fleas, as we do all of our adoptable pets. So it's really a great deal to get a pet from the shelter, because many of the things that you would do if you adopted a free pet are already taken care of. For example, you would get the flea prevention, the first vaccination, get them spayed. What we do ask for you to do when you adopt a new pet is go to the vet and get a once-over and make sure your pet is completely healthy, and also get a rabies shot if needed. The Maryland state law requires that that be done by your doctor, so we encourage you to get that done shortly after getting your pet so that you can be all set in case of emergencies, such as if a bat flew into your house, which is rare, but if it happens, you need to make sure that all of your pets are protected against rabies. That protects you as well. So if you think that Smokey would make the very nice lap cat you've been dreaming of, please come by the shelter and meet her and all of our other adoptable cats. Our next guest is Blarney. Blarney is a 5-year-old domestic short-hair black male cat, and he came to us as a stray. But because he's already neutered and friendly with people, he obviously was someone's pet. Only about 15% of our animals go back to their owners. It varies year to year, and it's different for cats than it is for dogs. But when animals don't have a collar or microchip, and their owners are not actively looking for them, we do have difficulty finding out where they belong. So often pets end up needing a second home when they had a perfectly good home. We just don't match up the person and their pet after they become lost. One of the myths that people believe with older pets, which Blarney does not fall into the category of, cats can live 15 to 20 years, and he's only 5. But some people believe their older pets wander off to die, and I'm not sure exactly where that myth came from. But although older pets can be disoriented and get lost, there's no reason for them to leave their family when they're sick, or to disappear for some reason such as that. If your pet is missing, we hope that you would give us a call, give us a specific description of the pet, a lot of phone numbers to reach you, and we hope to be able to match your pet up with you. The other thing that you can do is microchip, have your cat wear a collar. Certainly cats live longer and are protected from running off by being kept indoors, so that's also an option. And if you have a cat that you care for that you would like to make into an indoor cat, call us. We have all kinds of tips about how you can do that successfully. So if you are interested in Blarney, Blarney was named with a bunch of our St. Patrick's Day admissions, then please come by the shelter and meet him and see if he's a good match for you. Our next guest is Dublin. Dublin is a brown tabby, short hair, neutered male cat, also came to us as a stray. He's about 2 years old. He has very interesting markings, rings around his tail, of course, but on his body, his brown tabby has so few stripes and spots that he almost looks Abyssinian colored. And little tufts of hair on his ears, and a very big head, which means he probably was neutered after he was a grown-up, which means that he might have been several people's pet, like a neighborhood cat. We just don't know, because as explained before, when we get cats as strays, we don't know if their owners want them back or not unless they come here looking for them. We are Frederick County's only shelter, so if someone is looking for a cat, they would certainly be able to find us and give us a report describing the cat so that we could help them match up. But very often cats are cared for in a neighborhood or by a few families, but it isn't a strict ownership relationship. So when that cat is missing, the families just assume someone else knows what happened to him. So we do encourage people, whenever a cat is missing, to call us, come in and look. But it also means that we have many nice, friendly, litter-trained cats to offer for adoption to people who do want to make that commitment and own 1 or 2 cats and take them to the vet every year and take good care of them for the remainder of their life. And Dublin in specific is only 2, so he has a lot of time left to give to someone. He has a couple of other unique features, his little white feet, and he has a kink in his tail. That probably means that it's an old injury. It doesn't seem to bother him at all, and our veterinarian looked at it and made notes about it. But it is one way that you can tell your cat from another cat, although in Dublin's case, he's pretty distinctive looking. I think you'd be able to do that in any case. If you are interested in adopting a cat, please come by the shelter. Remember that we're open late on Wednesday and Thursday nights for your convenience till 8. And if Dublin is the one for you, then give us a call now.
It's not a disease.
We are back with Princeton, a beautiful orange tabby long-haired cat, which Randy already pointed out. It's a little misleading for me to say beautiful at this point, but I think he's beautiful. Princeton was shaved because he also came to us as a stray. He's about 3 years old. He is neutered, but his hair was tangled. Apparently, as someone's pet, he was getting regular brushing, but when he got lost and separated from his family, he wasn't able to take good care of his hair. And it's possible that being caught out in the rain, it got wet. And when cats get wet that have long hair, often they have trouble keeping it smooth and mat-free. So he was so patient with Lauren when she shaved him, so that we felt it was just kinder to shave the tangled hair off of him, which is relatively pain-free, rather than putting him through a long session of brushing and pulling it out. It will all grow back. He'll be quite lovely, and we certainly know a lot about him, having him sit through that process of being shaved. The clippers are loud, and he has to be held still. So what a lovely cat to put up with all of that. And he certainly needed it. And as you can see, we've color-coded him blue, which means lap cat, does not mind being restrained, does not mind being handled in any way, including clippers. So he's going to make somebody a wonderful pet. If you think that Princeton is the right cat for you, then come by the shelter and meet him. We think he's got a great personality and a lot to offer. He just needs a little bit of time to grow his lovely coat back. We are back with Vidalia, our beautiful Torby kitty. She is an adult female stray and also already spayed. So someone obviously owned her. She likes people. Although right now I hope that this tugs at your heartstrings, someone who's the right person for her. She's trembling. So this is a little hard for her to be on TV. And so any of you who don't like public speaking can certainly sympathize, and maybe she'll be the right cat for you. Last week when she had her picture taken, she was hiding under the rug in her cage here. So she's a shy little girl that would very much like to have a home of her own where strangers don't have to visit with her every day like they do here. We also still have in the shelter Marty, the black cat with the cornea scar on his beautiful eyes, who is in need of a home. We still have last week, you met
Jeff.
Guinness. Yes, and Jeff is an orange tabby, lovely personality. And we still have Guinness, the lovely elderly min pin that you met last week. So if you have watched previous episodes of Pet Pals and are concerned that all of those pets have since been adopted, please call and check, because you might be surprised to find that there is no time limit on how long adoptable pets can stay at Frederick County Animal Control. If they are healthy and friendly, we keep them until we find a home. And while that does not make us a no-kill shelter, because we do still euthanize animals who are dangerous or sick or can't be approached, we do try very hard to find homes for all of the pets like Guinness, who are 12 years old and may not seem to be adoptable at first, but because of his lovely personality and skill with people, he is very able to be a pet and provide whatever time he has left for a family that could really enjoy him. So Vidalia, the same way. She is a lovely cat who is quite shy about public appearances. So if you have sympathy for that, then please come and give her a home where she can be safely tucked inside and does not have to meet strangers or have press conferences or any of those things. So if you've seen a pet today that you would like to promote, either come in and adopt or pass the picture around from Pet Finder, or go to previous episodes of Pet Pals and find your match at Frederick County Animal Control. Thanks for joining us.